Perfect.
Oh, yeah, everybody. What's up? It's your boy E-Man from the Average Joe Sports Start Network coming at you. Let me just move this camera a little bit over here. Thank you for joining us on a special night. I know it's NFL season, and we like to bring it on Monday nights. However, had a little bit of technical difficulties on Monday before me and Cricket got on. Definitely my equipment, which I had to replace something, so we couldn't get on Monday. But I'm making it up on Wednesday. Cricket, unfortunately, cannot be here. Listen, man, we're two dudes, really busy schedules. We got lives, 5 wives, family, kids, and that takes priority. So he'll be back next week. But, however, Cricket did send me his bet of the week, which we're going to touch later on. I'm going to give you a little bit of watered down format today, give you the top storylines instead of breaking down every game from week 2. I like to do that with Cricket, but I do have the top storylines. We got a lot of stuff for you today, including our best bets of the week. All right. And of course, let's get busy. Let's get started with our injuries right here, right now. See where we're at before week 3, what injuries are looming, who's going to most likely is inactive right now, courtesy of Jersey Morse MD. Check him out at X. Follow him. Great follow. Great individual. Great doctor. Best doctor out there. Best NFL doctor out there since Dr. Chow. And, of course, let's start with Tua Tagovailoa. As we know, Thursday night, Tua got decommissioned again with his, third concussion in the NFL. Not the first in his career. Based on that, right now, he's going to miss 2+ games. My quick take on that, I know this has been beat down, with a stick already and to death. At the end of the day, man, it wasn't a hard hit, but it was not a great look. We saw the finger posturing again by Tua. We saw everything that happened on that horrible concussion that took him out a couple of years ago. Tua has a decision to make. It's up to him. As we all know, he said he's not planning to retire. But this dude is fragile. And I'm going to say it again. He's a hit away from not playing in the NFL at 26 years old. That wasn't a hard hit. He ran into Damar Hamlin. Right now, Tua's brain is so fragile. And I don't want to say beat up, but damage from God knows how many concussions and hits in his career since he started playing football, that it doesn't take much. But he's out. He ain't going to be playing probably. He's not going to play in week 3. He's not going to be back anytime soon. Anthony Richards came out on the report. Mild. Jaden Daniels, mild. Justin Herbert, mild. Right now, they did not practice today on Wednesday. Jordan Love actually practiced on Wednesday today, and it looks possible for week 3. Hey, look, man, Malik Willis, throw up on his hands and all from his center, at least deliver a win. So ugly, but it was a win. Don't worry about Josh Allen. Again, Russell Wilson not starting in week 3 this is going to be Justin Fields again. Isaiah Pacheco is going to be out. All right. Isaiah Pacheco got injured last week. Tough as they went ahead and signed Kareem Hunt up the street. Hunt is back. He is back, ladies and gentlemen, back with Kansas City, the team that cut his ass for domestic violence, that hotel issue. Rashad White, mild. He didn't practice today. Joe Mixon looks like it's mild. Tajay Spears, mild. He's definitely going to play. Jeff Wilson, Tanks Bixby. However, Pierre Strong Jr. is out. He is out. Christian McCaffrey, out. All right. A.J. Brown is out as well. Make sure that I got everything else. Let's go back here to the next one. Jefferson, mild. Said he might play. Cooper Kupp, same moderate, but I don't think Cooper Kupp's going to play either. I think he's out for the weekend in practice today. A.J. Brown is out for this week. That's going to be a couple of games. St. Brown, no problem. Debo Samuel, this report came out a day ago. However, Debo looks like he's not going to play in week 3 as well. All right. Jordan Addison, again, still taking their time. He is still out. Let's go back down to Evan Ingram. Evan Ingram might make a comeback this week. It is moderate. Last-minute scratch on Sunday, but it looks like he's trending to play. And that's it, pretty much it. The big stories are Tua, A.J. Brown, who is going to be out. All right, these are the big stories right now. We got some people coming back in. Debo is out. All right, Cooper Kupp, he's going to be out. I don't think he's going to play at all. This is your injury report, doc to you by Dr. Morse, MD, the best doctor, NFL doctor out there. all right, in the NFL. So I'd like to give you that injury report. And like I mentioned, want to give you the top storylines of this week. And of course, I want to start with the Chargers, man. The Chargers are 2-0 in the Jim Harbaugh era. Okay. And listen, man, 2-0. J.K. Dobbins, first Charger in 8 years to have back-to-back 100-plus rushing yards, had himself another monster game, 17 carries, 131 yards, 1 touchdown, back-to-back 100 yards, first Charger in 8 years. I mean, we're talking about a team that had, Eckler for many years, who was like top, running back one. It's because he did a lot. He caught the football, a bunch of other things. He was number one pick in fantasy, I think, one year. It was wide receiver one fantasy, I think, one year. Oh man, my headphones are fucking up. But however, he did not do that. He never had back-to-back rushing. Never had back-to-back rushing yards like J.K. Dobbins has done in his first 2 games as a Charger. Again, so happy for him. This guy's had multiple ACA tears, season ending. He is awesome. I appreciate the fact that he's back. Great dude. But again, it's one of those things that when he comes to this team, we know what their identity is. Good defense, run the football. That's Jim Harbaugh identity everywhere he's been. His stint with the 49ers, all his years in college. It's going to be one of those things that Justin Herbert is going to have to just pick a wide receiver by committee. It's going to be which wide receiver stands out, right? Last week was Ladd McConkey, the rookie. This year was Quentin Johnson. Quentin Johnson was drafted last year and thought he was going to have that breakout year. Had himself 2 touchdowns. We're not going to see a lot of yards. We're not going to see a lot of 100 yards receiving from these wide receivers, all right? We're not going to see that. Get that out of your head. But we are going to see guys that eventually should take turns in the red zone, okay, in getting the ball. This week was Quentin Johnson. Last week was McConkey. Edwards, again, look, 17 carries. Gus Edwards had 18. This is going to be like they're going to be very similar in carries. It's going to be, Gus hasn't been able to get off because Gus is more of the goal line guy. J.K. Dobbins can just break out for a lot of yardage. I mean, this guy is averaging a career like 7 yards per carry. This is insane. Remember, this guy has been out more than he's been in the NFL season. However, he is talented, man. Happy for him. But it's going to be rushing the football. It's going to be good defense. Justin Herbert got banged up a little bit. But look, Herbert right now had himself 2 touchdowns, 14 out of 20. He is not going to be asked to use his arm as much as he's had in the past, which is good for Herbert, right? Because he's been the guy that he has a strong arm, man. He can make every throw. Honestly, I thought that he has it. I think he's very Mahomes and CJ Stroud-like. He just hasn't been able to have the good coaching. And as this team improves and get better wide receivers, you're going to see him throw the football more often. But it's a good thing for him because he's had a couple of rough years due to the pressure. And you're going to see him have a more efficient year. All right. He only has 3. He threw for 3 touchdowns this season and 1 pick. He may not have 4,000 yards this year like he knows he can't have and he's had in the past. And, 35 touchdowns. But however, you're going to see him with probably the best year of his career from an efficiency standpoint. And talking about staying in the topic of the Chargers, let's look at the other side, man. The Panthers, Bryce Young, poor kid. He hasn't been able to get it together. Bryce Young has had himself, 18 career game, has 19 interceptions, another horrible game, 84 passing yards. The Panthers are not a good team. And later on Sunday, Danny Canales said, look, I'm not benching anybody right now. But Monday came through and they were like, okay, he's going to the bench. Andy Dalton, step up. So they bench him on Monday, and now Andy is the starting quarterback. Let me check out the comments here. Hey, what up, my man? It's the owner's fault. Didn't add the damn thing around free Bryce Young. I am going to touch on that, and that's he just got ahead of it. Shout out to my boy Jim from Fan in the Van, other half of Cigars and Sports, dropping an episode this Friday, boys and girls. We are back like a bad habit. Yep, I agree with you, and this is where I'm going to say some quarterbacks have the opportunity to get drafted, right? With to certain scenarios where the quarterback lands is very important. Bryce Young is a different quarterback. He doesn't have the assets, the physicality that, quarterbacks like Jordan Love, right? Quarterbacks like Justin Herbert, quarterback like his counterpart last year, CJ Stroud, where they could probably mold to a team that's not well equipped. He's a small quarterback who comes from a offense that's fast paced, that uses a lot of different free positions, trickery. He went into a complete dumpster fire. And this is what I'm saying. He could still be a productive quarterback if he's in the right system. You know what should happen to this kid? If I am the Carolina Panthers, I try to trade him to Miami for something. Maybe not a lot. Don't get greedy. Because I think Bryce Young, coming from Alabama like Tua, same size as Tua, same attributed assets, can flourish in Miami. Two things. The offense that was built around Tua is the same offense that he ran in Alabama, same offense that he ran in Alabama as well. Bryce Young ran in Alabama as well. So you got a guy that could step in, and while Tua is hurt and you give him time to recover, this kid can probably be a better option than Skylar Thompson. The question is, how much are the Panthers going to ask for Bryce Young, who to me right now is not going to be successful in that team at all? It's done. They need to let this kid go. Didn't lock up. No, didn't lock up. He ain't getting out. You're right. This sucks, man. It sucks. But think about it. That's the offense that Bryce Young can be successful, right? Moving parts, quick throws, that kind of trickery where they're having different people in motion, quick release. That's his game. He's not a guy that can stand up in the pocket and just blow you out, man, like CJ Stroud can. That's not the type of player he is. So that's what needs to happen. He needs to get out of Carolina. And we've seen Baker Mayfield, we're going to touch later, who's had a great career after he got out of a toxic relationship, if you want to call it that, right? With the Cleveland Browns. And he even went to Carolina. He sucked there too. I mean, look at Sam Darnold again. Sam Darnold is playing awesome in Minnesota, and he was in Carolina as well. So again, Carolina is a shitty team, all right, and a crappy organization. So I hope the best for the kid. He learns from this, and I hope he gets another opportunity, which I think he can. I think he could be useful in the NFL. In the right. There's only two systems that Bryce Young can do well in the NFL right now, currently. That's Miami and the San Francisco 49ers. Same offense, same type of skill players around him that are going to make him better. So shout out to Jim. Free Bryce Young. Hashtag free Bryce Young. And if I'm them, dude, don't get greedy. I think Miami will give up like a third round pick for him. Let me see what Jim says. The most you're getting for Young is a conditional second rounder and a best team who will look into like this Giants, Vegas, Steelers, even Cleveland get out of another Diddler Watson situation. I think Miami and 49ers are the two places that this kid is actually going to work well. If he goes to the Giants, he's going to be in the same fucking scenarios. All right, moving on to the next game, to the next best storyline. And I love this right here. I love this right here, man. The cow bitches got spanked. All right, got spanked by the New Orleans Saints, who are started out like a house of fire to start the season. Okay, the Saints are now 2-0. I mean, have scored, I think, in every single possession they play this year. I mean, Derek Carr is playing like a man possessed. This is not going to last, ladies and gentlemen. That's not, don't. I don't want to piss in your Wheaties here. It's not going to last. But however, it's kind of nice. It is kind of nice that they destroyed the Dallas Cowboys. I like that. Hey, let me see. It's something like this. We have 15 possessions. He scored on 15 out of 15 possessions right now. All right. He's look at that. 15 possessions, 15 scores. The starting offense for the Saints this season. Not bad. Not bad at all. And in this game, they were, again, they're just scoring in so many different ways. It's not even funny. It's insane. It's not even funny in all the ways they're scoring. I mean, this Derek Carr, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Alvin Kamara, huge game, caught a touchdown, rushed for 3, had 115 rushing yards. Okay. All right. 4 touchdowns altogether, 180 overall total yards. Go to the week for sure. 22 touches. He is playing like a man possessed. And they're actually doing some stuff here that's definitely helping Carr look good. They're getting rid of the ball quick. All right. Yeah, I lost to dude Derek. Where's my car? My God. Yeah, hey, he's playing like he's playing like Tom Brady out here. All right, he's playing great. But the difference is Kamara has been a beast to start the season. You know what I mean? I think Kamara already has four. He had 4 touchdowns in this game, and so far for the season, let me see. Let me look at the stats. Kamara right now through 2 games has a total of 5 touchdowns. All right, he's averaging over 5 yards per carry, like 5.7. All right, has 65, had total of like, dude, he has 7 receptions already. All right, and almost 100 receiving yards. All right, has over 200 rushing yards. He is playing probably the best football to start. I mean, he's playing better football than this, but he's playing the best football to start a season. And he's a big reason why when they're running the football that well and that efficient, then it opens up stuff for Rashid Shaheed, who had another 96 yards and a long-ass bomb. That's twice back-to-back. This is without even Olave sniffing the end zone. So they have a lot of openings here, and it all starting with whatchamacallit, oh my gosh, with Kamara. Kamara has been the reason why I think this offense is clicking, at least through the first 2 games. And Derek Carr, man, what are you going to say? I mean, you got to give him props. He's killing it. He's freaking killing it. 2 games right now. This might be the best start in Derek's Carr career. I mean, what did he had? This game he had 2 touchdowns. The other game he had 3. Shoot, man, he's been killing it. He's averaging. Let me see. A quarterback rating of 142. He's fucking destroying it. This is probably the best. You know, he has 5 freaking touchdowns already. Is that to start the season? All right, it's in 2 games. So yeah, what are you gonna say? You got to get props. Credit where credit is due, and they've been a good. I don't want to say they've been a good Cowboys team because Dallas Cowboys are overrated. The only thing they're good at is paying players. Where the hell is Jerry getting all this money? But however, hey, I guess you could consider this one of the upsets of the week, which we had a few. A lot of people thought the Dallas Cowboys were going to go at. And look at this defense. This defense did what they were supposed to. The only player that got off for the Dallas Cowboys was CeeDee Lamb. And as we all know, the rushing attack sucks. Look at Zeke, 16 yards, 7 carries. I mean, I don't know. The Dallas Cowboys are killing me because, you know, at this point, you should be able to just make Rico Dowdle, however you pronounce this, needs to be the lead back. All right. I know they got Dalvin Cook and blah, 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 blah. I don't think he even sniffed the damn field yet. But it's time for, like, let Zeke, dude, stop giving the ball to Zeke. But Rico Dowdle should be your leading back. All right. That's the way it is. CeeDee Lamb had himself 7 targets, caught 4 balls, a touchdown for 90 yards. One of them was a long one. Jalen Tolbert, 82 yards. I mean, they have some pieces, but this team is not good at all offensively. And their defense is getting worn out quick in just 2 games. So, hey, it is what it is. But shout out to Derek Carr. He's been balling his ass off. The other upset, the main upset of the week right here. Maybe definitely you could call this an upset of the week here, but is the San Francisco 49ers, man. I know that we're shaky. They don't have shaky, game 1. They beat the Jets, which Jets are a better team than the Vikings, okay? I mean, don't let, Sam Darnold, the friendly ghost here fool you, okay? Don't let him fool you because he started 2-0. We've seen this picture before. He started, I think, 2-0 or 3-0 with the Panthers when he became the starting quarterback. Don't let the story has happened before. Don't let this freaking picture that you're seeing right now fool you again, okay? Don't do that, all right? Because what's going to happen is that you're going to end up, when you start getting yourself get down, you're going to end up going home.
Go home and smoke some more crack.
It is what it is, all right? It is what it is. With this team, I get it. He has a lot of good weapons. He has a chip on his shoulder. This is probably his last starting opportunity. He was given a gift by J.J. McCarthy, not, getting hurt. But look, they came up and punched the 49ers in the mouth. What's really good about this team is that defense. That was the story of the game. And the 49ers look rusty as shit, man. And you could see Jordan Mason had another 100-yard rushing game, but it's not the same as having Christian McCaffrey. It's a different story. Debo himself had -10 rushing yards. Had himself 8 receptions, 110 yards. Kittle 7 for 76. Brandon Ayuk has been out to lunch as he signed his new contract. I mean, he should put more effort on trying to get signed and his antics during the offseason than he is in the damn field, which, remember, me and Jim kind of cover that very strongly during this whole, Brandon Ayuk saga. With that being said, the 49ers look shady. They look soft. Brock Purdy threw for 319 yards, but threw a pick. He's not getting the ball out the same way. There's some holes here. Look, they're going to get it together. They got to get it together. The San Francisco 49ers will. They're way too talented. They have a good coach, which can win the big one, But either way, it's just one of those that you never thought this was going to happen. Now, the San Francisco 49ers defense, I mean, the Vikings defense is legit. Okay? They're legit. They're legit. Let's give them credit. They are legit. As a team, they got to get after the quarterback. They have really good corners. And you know what? Brian Flores hasn't playing good. Nobody ever said that Brian Flores is a bad defensive coordinator. All right. He's a really good defensive coordinator. He just sucks as a coach. Sam Darnold, 268 yards, had another pick. He has 2 picks in the first 2 games. However, he is doing what he's supposed to do. 2 more touchdowns. Aaron Jones had an off game and had a costly fumble. That would have been even more of a score. But Ty Chandler is emerging in this lineup. Eventually, he's going to be the starting running back here. Jefferson had a 92-yard bomb. Naylor had a touchdown. Look, they have. And when Addison comes back, this team is going to be even better offensively. At the end of the day, all Sam Darnold needs to do is, at the end of the day, all Sam Darnold needs to do is make sure he stays clear of the turnovers and he doesn't see any ghosts. All right. Casper, the friendly ghost, Sam Darnold needs to make sure that his poltergeist is on check. Okay. And he'll be okay for the season. They're just asking him not to make mistakes because he does have horses. When Jordan Addison comes back and TJ Hockenson comes back, if this team is still in the mix and Darnold is playing at the same level, because remember, let's see after 4 games, that's when Sam Darnold starts taking his shit. I think they should be okay. All right. Definitely the upset of the week was the 49ers. I mean, it's close. There's another upset that we're going to talk about a little later. All right, let's go. Moving on to the next one. And listen, man, apart from J.K. Dobbins, right? Apart from J.K. Dobbins, there has to be another player that, and this goes back to last year, that probably has had a better resurgence and is taking an opportunity, a second or third opportunity, whatever you want to call it, and made it into a complete and has cashed in. That's what I mean to say. It's Baker Mayfield. They went into Detroit, beat Detroit 20-16. Baker had himself another clutch game. He made some plays. This is the Baker that people expected when he was drafted number 1. And I said it on record, he should have been drafted number 1. Don't get me wrong, the 2 quarterbacks that were drafted after him, Sam Darnold, is playing on his 3rd team just like him, so he's still in the NFL. Josh Rosen is nowhere to be found. And I forget who the other quarterbacks are, which I thought those 2 guys were better than Baker. Shit, what the hell did I know? But with Baker Mayfield, man, he is just playing on a level that he's never played before. We know the season he had last year, Pro Bowler, went into Philadelphia, spanked the Philadelphia Eagles, did their thing, man, and won a playoff game. This week, Baker, 185, not a lot of yards, but had a beautiful touchdown right there to Godwin. Baker Mayfield also is making plays with his legs. He made some plays to get out of trouble with his legs, running wise, man. That I was like, holy crap! I didn't know Baker can move like this. He's not fast, but he's having really good instincts out there when it comes to running the football himself. Running game was non-existent. I mean, he was the leading rusher for his team. That's he got sacked a lot. Adrian Hutchinson had himself a monster game and was sacking Baker over and over again. And these are the games that when Baker gets destroyed like that, all right, the Baker gets destroyed like that, he usually struggles. He struggles, and this is when the turnovers happen. But shout out, man. He kept it strong. He was on the ground a lot. And at the end of the day, he stood up in the pocket, took the hits, and just kept digging throughout the game. You know what I'm saying? It was a great victory on a good Lions team. And, not to say anything, Josh Godwin is having an excellent season, back-to-back 100-yard receiving games. They D up Mike Evans. They have a good team. I think Jalen McMillan is a guy that I think can be that third great wide receiver, good wide receiver. Kate Otten hasn't done it yet, but he's another weapon that they're going to have on the red zone. So in regards to the Lions, man, the game plan came in. Jameis Winston is, back-to-back really solid games. Amon St. Brown, after having a disappointing week one, is back with 119 yards. It was just they couldn't get the running game going. You know how good is Jamar Gibbs. David Montgomery is going to get the touchdowns. Jared Goff, man, he threw for a lot of yards, but, that Bucs defense also plays as hard as the Lions, and they made them turn the ball over twice. That's the story of the game right there. So going back to Baker, because I think that's the real story of this game, and I think the real story of his team. He has taken the Bucs and made this team his, right? And it shows a lot. And here's the reason why Baker is having such a great resurgence, right? I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to play a clip for you from Baker Mayfield. I'm sorry. Hold on a second. This is after the game. All right, let me share this tab here. This is after the game. Baker Mayfield. Let me just make sure that you guys are seeing this on the screen. This is an interview after the game. And this is what Baker said when he was asked a question regarding the game. This is a different answer that Baker would have given when he was a rookie, or this is a different answer, period, that Baker would have given when he was a Cleveland quarterback. Remember what I say about organizations.
All right, Baker Mayfield. Dan Campbell told us this week he wanted to put this game on Baker Mayfield's shoulders. So I want to see how your shoulders are feeling and how that challenge was accepted by you.
It's never an individual effort. It's not. I can't say enough about our defense. That is not an easy team to play against. And them, they're going for it, fake punts, going for it on a fourth down. Our defense holding up at the end right there, that's not easy. So I can't say enough about those guys. You know what, honestly, not horrible clock management on my part in that last drive right there. Got to make them take a timeout to where they can't have an extra one. So it's always good to learn lessons when you win, but we can be better on offense. But this is a tough game, tough environment, and I'm so proud of our guys the way we hung in there.
Let me ask you, as you're learning these lessons, it's why Todd Bowles said we don't know who we are just yet. Yeah. So after a great win last week that was relatively...
Great answers. He took accountability. Even though he played his ass off, and it was a big reason why they won the game, but he admit faults, right? He's giving credits. He's grown up. That's practically what it is. He's giving his teammates credit, taking accountability when he needs to. Cleveland Baker, after a game like this, would have said, I was feeling dangerous today. That's why we won. Big difference. The man has grown up. The man has matured, and is paying off.
Easy, and now this tough one. What have you learned about this team with 2-0?
It's a resilient group. Everybody trusts each other, and that's the biggest part. There's a lot of trust within this group, and that goes a long way in tight ball games like this. So, like I said, I can't say enough about this group. I'm so proud of them.
Congratulations. Thanks, Baker.
Thank you.
It's right there. Big reason why the Bucs are 2-0. Big reason why they won the division last year. He's a big reason why they won a playoff game last year. But overall, he's understanding what it takes to be a leader, what it takes to play the position. It's not just what it's not just attributes, gifts, but it's also leadership. And he was a leader before. I've never said he wasn't a leader, but he was a leader with immaturity and cockiness, right? Players like Cam Newton never learned how to become a leader. They led based on their gifts. And when their gifts kind of went away and age and hits caught up to them, they could not do it. They could not elevate other players with their leadership, when it comes to making sense, talking, all that kind of stuff. Baker has figured it out on and off the field. And I think he's going to be a Bucs quarterback for a very long time. Remember, he replaced the great Tom Brady, and he did not do too bad. So big reason why Baker is who he is and why the Bucs are 2-0, and they beat a hell of a Detroit Lions team. All right. It is what it is. You got to give credit is due. He's matured. He is taking a page. He's taking leadership. And when you make changes in life, man, it's just like an alcoholic when he takes accountability to himself and goes to rehab and, puts the work in to recover. It's no difference when it comes to football. and having second chances. The next game. All right, let me see what we got here. The other upset of the week. The Raiders. The Raiders. Las Vegas Raiders. It doesn't sound the same, right? Man, Minshew Mania, bro. It's a roller coaster ride to watch everywhere he's been. This was such a game that you were like, what the hell, man? The Ravens had full control of this freaking game. You know what I'm saying? They have full control of this game. All right. They were leading all the way to the fourth quarter. I mean, it wasn't like a large lead. However, shit, man, they should have had this one in the back. Gardner, again, up and down game, threw a really bad, costly pick. And even if they had that turnover, man, you should have seen Crosby, who had a monster game. Crosby had an insane game. Also, himself, he was out there. He's a big anchor on defense. But they got out there and they spoke to Baker and they were like, you could see it on the side, like, to Baker, Minshew, like, yo, dude, snap out of it. You're the quarterback. Let's go. You know what I mean? Even Devontae Adams was out there saying, hey, let's go, my man. Devontae Adams, clutch, game-winning catch, 9 receptions, 110 yards. They turned it up in the second yard. Brock Bowers, what can you say? This rookie is living up to every single expectation. Remember, he was drafted like at the top 10 picks or 12 or something like that. The running game is still suspect with Samir White and everybody else. But look, they pulled it off. And this is kind of like the teams that Gardner Minshew is going to have. This is a year the Raiders are going to have. They're going to have some bad games, and then they got to pull stuff like this and beating teams like the Ravens, who right now the Ravens are 0-2. This is such an ugly upset because they play Kansas City so well, and the Raiders play so bad against the Colts, and the Colts play so bad in week 2 that you thought, I was like, yo, it's going to be a done deal. The Ravens got problems, man. Their offensive line sucks. Lamar Jackson is not sharp. And if you notice, a lot of these quarterbacks are not sharp because they didn't play in the preseason. We're seeing sloppy football from real good veterans here. All right. Sloppy football from veterans because they're having a rough time. A lot of these guys didn't play in the regular season, in the preseason. So you're seeing the rust and the quality is really, really subpar. But yeah, man, Lamar Jackson, 21 out of 34. He ran the football, but wasn't as effective as he was against the Chiefs. Derrick Henry, 84 rushing yards. You're going to have to start. If this is the offense they're going to run, I think Derrick Henry needs to get 20-plus touches. He does have back-to-back touchdowns, but it's not effective. Zay Flowers, again, he's your number 1 receiver. Andrews finally got a little better. Isaiah Likely came back down to earth. Everybody that went ham on the waiver wire for Isaiah Likely, including in these fab leagues, and spent a lot of fab money on Likely. I was like, dude, I don't know why, because it's going to be up and down. The healthier Andrew gets and the more in shape he is, because remember, he was hurt last year, that's going to decrease. Likely's a beast. He's a beast. However, Andrews is still the number 1 tight end in this team. They're going to have to figure it out. They're going to have to use these 2 guys at the same time because wide receiver-wise, apart from Zay, they have nothing. And you could see the struggles of Lamar trying to complete a pass. All right? It's not going to take much to shut down Lamar's passing game when your main guy is Zay Flowers. That's what's important for Andrew to be successful. All right? And I say it likely at the same time. They didn't do a lot in the offseason, man. Remember, they lost OBJ. I know OBJ didn't set the world on fire last year, but when he was in the game, he was a difference maker that helped Zay and the other players be better. All right. But yeah, it does not look good for the Ravens. They started really horrible. The good news is, so have the Bengals. You know what I'm saying? So have the Bengals. But yeah, this is, I think, another upset of the week. Again, watching Minshew Mania, Gardner Minshew, play this game is kind of fun in a way because he's all over the place, man. He's so all over the place. But it's fun. I love the guy. He's a hell of a backup quarterback and can be a guy that can just, eventually just be a stopgap, right? A stopgap for any team and until they get their guy. But he's competitive. He's fun to watch. Yeah, he's sloppy at times, but he's fun to watch. The new age Ryan Fitzpatrick. All right, and then we had what I want to say, maybe the game of the week, the Bengals and the Chiefs, Burrowhead. No, it's Arrowhead. And look, all the way to the end, the Chiefs pulled it off. And I'm not going to break this game down too well, but I do want to touch it because everybody's complaining about the calls and everything else. It could have gone the other way, blah, 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 blah. I want to make something understandable here, right? And very freaking clear. You need to understand that Patrick Mahomes is now the Tom Brady of the NFL. What do I mean by that? There's an unwritten rule that when you earn and you win as much as Mahomes has done as early on as Brady did, there's going to be some calls that are questionable that are going to go his way or the team's way. Okay? Let's make that clear. That's the unwritten rule in the NFL. It's been like that forever. There's going to be calls that they're not going to go ahead and, review. All right? That's just what it is. All right? That's just what it is. And that's what happened this game with a pass interference call and a few other calls. And again, this team is built for. Oh, I got the wrong team up there. This team is built for Patrick Mahomes not to air the ball out, 40 times or throw 4 touchdowns. You know what I'm saying? Because they have a great running game, which Pacheco is going to be banged up and probably out this week. But hold on, let me get the game details up here. And Kelsey hasn't shown up in the first 2 weeks, but they don't need Kelsey to show up now. All right, I think they have enough pop with Rashid Rice. All right, and Pacheco when he's healthy. Xavier Worthy, who came down to earth. It was a tough game. It was a good defensive matchup. Rashid Rice had another touchdown. We know who the number 1 receiver is. Pacheco is a beast, man. I mean, Pacheco does everything. 19 carries, 90 yards, and he got hurt, but can also catch the football. He is their second best player. All right. Kelsey is washed. All right. He's too busy, hanging out with Taylor Swift at the U.S. Open or whatever the case may be, or cat pictures, whatever the hell those two are doing. I'm so glad the NFL is not focusing that much on Taylor Swift this year like they did last year. Thank you. Appreciate that, Roger Goodell. But with that being said, look, it's a team that they're going to grind you down. This is what Brady used to do with lesser talent in New England. You're not watching anything different, and he will get calls. And that's going to happen to Patrick Mahomes. So get used to it, NFL fans, whoever's going to play against Patrick Mahomes. You will have some calls that will not go your way. Just make sure you beat them convincingly. Bengals, Joe Burrow had a much better game. That's why it's difficult for teams to take off games like they did against New England. New England has a good defense, but they should have beaten New England in week 1. I'm talking about the Bengals. Joe Shiesty, 2 touchdowns, 258 yards. The running game is suspect without Joe Mixon. It's going to be a shit show all week long. But, Gesicki had himself 91 yards. Jamar Chase is still rusty as hell. T. Higgins is still injured. 2 touchdowns by Andre Lucivas, who's their tight end. 2 receptions. It's big red zone target. This team will get it together, and it's one of those things that they start out so slow. By week 3, you're going to see a win. They're gonna speed it up. But I wanted to touch this game because, look, get used to it, man. It's Patrick Mahomes' world. He is a new age Tom Brady, and he gets the perks. Okay, he gets the perks of being the GOAT, and this man is the fucking GOAT. So yeah, we're gonna cry all you want, but teams needs to go in there and slap them in the mouth so they don't have to rely on missed calls by the refs, because it's gonna happen. Next, who are we talking about here? I think we're down to the last top storyline, and it's Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray, baby, and Marvin Harrison Jr. made up throughout the week, and in what fashion, man? I mean, talk about starting the game out with a bang, and just making the Rams their BITCH from the get-go. Was Kyler Murray, man, and Marvin Harrison. They connected for the first 2 freaking touchdowns of the game in just 2 plays. It was insane. Marvin Harrison, who caught like 1 pass or wasn't even targeted last week, had himself 3 receptions, 2 touchdowns in like the first 2 series. 8 targets. He got peppered with targets this time. All right. He was complaining about the targets. 130 yards. You're going to see a lot of that. Trey McBride, another solid week. 6 receptions. Call all his targets. 67 yards. James Conner, man, just keeps doing his thing. 21 carries. 122 yards. We knew that this team with Kyler healthy was going to be dangerous. It only took 21 attempts for Kyler to have 3 touchdowns, okay, and 266 passing yards. He does it with his legs, 59 yards on the ground, moves in the pocket when Kyler is healthy, See, this is a small quarterback that has an offense and have position players that work well for him, and also has an offensive line that's a lot better than Carolina. See the comparison with Bryce Young? He's a little faster than Bryce Young. He runs better than Bryce Young. However, again, it's the system and the offense that you put together for quarterbacks of that skill set and having that ability. So that's where we're at. Sorry, excuse my kids are out there. It's bedtime, and the little one doesn't listen too well. But yeah, man, Marvin Harrison, 4 receptions, 130 yards, 2 touchdowns. But the man is, I don't know, it took him 2 weeks to get buck wild here. But yeah, for the Rams, add insult to injuries. Cooper Kupp is out on IR. Well, he's out. We don't know how long. He did not put him in the injured reserve list. Kyron Williams, I mean, it was just complete annihilation. I mean, you're looking at, it was like, what did they score? 41-10. Sam Bradford's going to have a rough year, man. I mean, you had 2 of the best wide receivers tandem, one of the best tandems in the league, work their asses off in the offseason to get injured in the first 2 weeks. There's nothing in this lineup after Cooper Kupp who's going to be out that it's going to be hope for. Tutu Atwell, DeMarcus Robinson, I mean, Colby Parkinson, I thought he was going to have a bigger game, but it's just going to be a rough outing for the Rams moving forward. So sorry about that. So yeah, that's where we're at. 41-10. The Cardinals take it. The Rams have themselves a lot of issues, but Marvin Harrison has arrived. Has arrived, my man. Has arrived. All right, then we are up with the top storylines of the week. Man, I thought I was going to do a lot sooner than this, but let's move on to that part of the show where we give you our unscripted early bets of the week. And of course, Cricket and I is a new segment that I want to start, that we want to go ahead, that I just started last week, and we're both going to give you our favorite picks. Both actually hit last week. I forgot what Cricket had because I'm going to leave it written down over here. Mine were the Panthers. I took the 6.5 early online, and you know the history. With that being said, first of all, my pick, I don't know what the line is. I was supposed to do this on Monday. Right now, mine is the Raiders at the Panthers because they're playing the Panthers at 5.5. I know Andy Dalton is going to be the starting quarterback. I don't know how much of a difference that's going to be. We saw what Andy Dalton actually did start last year. The offense clicked a little better because he could just get rid of the football, taller in the pocket, and can do some more work. But right now, this line is what's the line of this game? It's still 5.5. I will take the Raiders at 5.5. Minshew Mania is going to deliver. All right, Cricket's pick of the week. Cricket's pick is Bowling Green plus 23 against Texas A&M. Cricket is the college expert. If you haven't followed Cricket on X, go ahead and follow Cricket at the Sports Cricket on X. Look him up, man, because he posts a lot of free content, a lot of free picks every week on college football and as well as in the NFL. So great follow. Bowling Green, he's a college guy, man. There's your picks. There's your Crickets. There's Cricket's picks of myself. Like I said, Bowling Green for Cricket plus 23 and Raiders. And now let's go ahead and let's close out the show. This is kind of impromptu. And let's take a look at the Thursday night game between the Jets and New England. Like the spread of 6.5, it opened at 7.5, so the spread is going down. I am going to stay away from the spread here. I actually like the under in this game. I'll take the under for 109 right now at 38.5. I would grab it today because it's probably going to keep going down. It opened up at 42. That line has gone down. So Vegas is telling you that this game is going to be under. So I like the under. I'm staying away. Like the under and probably pick the money line for the I'll pick probably the money line instead of the actual. Let's go back over here. Let me see what the money line is on this game. Money has 275. Yeah, you know what? I'll stick with the under. You should be okay with the under. All right, let's go to the props. Go back here to boom. Wait a minute. I can't find my props here. Sports. Let's see what kind of props can we get. See what kind of props can we get for this game. Prop picks right here. Boom. All right, Breece Hall, anytime touchdown at minus 155. You could probably book that because they're going to run the football a lot. I like Ramondre Stevenson also I rather take Stevens is giving you a better value. I definitely got to go with Ramondre plus 125 on here. I know Bladen, everybody's going to be on fire with Allen because of 2 touchdowns he got last week. Slow it down, man. Breece Hall is still the feature back. All right. Probably Breece Hall and Ramondre for sure. Those are my 2 picks. Anytime touchdowns. Anything else here? Look, let's go to the let's get out of touchdowns. Another one that I think it's gonna be pretty cool here. I think in the receiving prop here, 64.5. Garrett hasn't been able to blow up yet, but I think it's gonna be a game with the Garrett Wilson finally goes crazy and maybe reaches 100 yards. So I like the over on his receiving yards. Not touching receiving yards for anybody else. All right, in this game because he's going to be the only one that's probably going to be getting open. Again, rushing is another one that you might want to look at. I think Breece Hall and Ramondre Stevenson both can hit their overs on rushing yards, and even Gibson as well. He is. We tell Gibson is being used a lot in different forms. I like that. When receiving yards, the only other receiving yards prop you want to look at, it's maybe Gibson. Let me see what Gibson's receiving yard is. See, Gibson over 7.5. I think he's going to get – the Jets have good defense, so I think they're going to rush a lot, and he's going to dump down to Gibson a couple of times probably here. That's kind of like out there. And Breece Hall. I think Breece Hall can go over 30.5 receiving yards. He's being used in so many different ways. Anytime tutty for Breece Hall, receiving yards and rushing yards, you can make that a 3-way parlay, man, and go ham. All right? And go crazy with that. Actually, as a matter of fact, why don't we do this? I think these are all 3 very doable. I would go 1 player, 3-game parlay. I like this right here. All right, we go anytime touchdown as well. Let me see rushing. I like Breece Hall's over as well. And if you want to take an anytime touchdown here, if you parlay those 3, see, hold on a second. What is this? Oh, sorry about that. If you parlay those 3, that's plus 434. All right. You put yourself 434 for that. You make yourself some money. All right. You make yourself some money right here, my friend. Plus 434. Take all 3. Put those 3 together. Honestly, also do I would also do a parlay with Stevenson. Anytime tutty with him. You could do anytime tutty for Breece Hall. Those 2 right there is going to give you a nice odds of 254. I think those things are going to happen. There's a lot of combination, not a lot of players, but I think you might be able to get away with just a couple of players here. But definitely take the under of the game. Jets are winning this game, by the way. Now, don't be surprised. Shit happens. You know, the New England Patriots have played 2 really good games. I mean, surprisingly enough, their defense is back. They're still playing Bill Belichick football because they don't have wide receivers worth of shit and a quarterback worth of shit. Definitely, Maine will be in here in about 4 or 5 games because I don't think Brissett can hold this up. He's doing everything he's supposed to do, not turning the ball over. So it's just more Bill Belichick football, man. Defense, running the football. Life is good, man. Bill Belichick retires, put his imprint in the game, stays in New England. Woo, that's all I got for everybody today. This is your boy E-Man from the Arajoa Sports Start Network. Check us out on Friday with my boy Jim for Cigars and Sports at 8 p.m. You don't want to miss it. We're bringing the heat, baby. We are bringing the heat. Thank you, everybody, for watching and listening. Peace.